Appreciate you guys tuning in. Final hour of the show underway. And every week, thanks to our friends at Coke and Piggly Wiggly, it's the coach, Wim Sanderson. Fun.
You guys the show today out the 10 19 Oklahoma.
An Oklahoma victory.
I thought you'd be in. I was at Abilene.
Yeah.
And I went over and said, I can't guess how long.
Cassidy.
I won't be better than you. You know, you always worry about having a basketball guy on there.
We do worry about
Alabama and Missouri. You better block them. Missouri is going to come after Alabama the way Oklahoma came after Auburn. You better block them. Now, if you're going to sit there and you're Missouri and you're looking at film after film after film, trying to decide how to beat Alabama, you got to pressure the quarterback. I know all the things that Greg just gave, and he's a lot smarter than I am. But you got to pressure the quarterback. And the offensive line for Alabama has got to block the rush.
That's fair.
If they can't block the rush, then it's going to be 88 out the gate.
Could be trouble.
It's going to be trouble for Alabama.
I would agree.
It's going to be trouble. So you got to block the cotton picking rush. And I'll guarantee you, Missouri's looked at Oklahoma the way they rushed Auburn, and they're going to be some trouble there. When you go to Arkansas and Tennessee,
hold on. Listen,
okay,
I have to get this in first, okay? This is very important. Okay. We were talking about you in a previous segment, and we have something that we need to discuss. Somehow, some way, we got into sports training techniques and basketball training techniques and how some of these personal trainers are doing some things that are ridiculous. I said I would ask you, what's the dumbest training thing that you did with any team or any player during your coaching career?
Well, I had my strength coach do it. We put a rope around Robert. I think they were dragging something. I forget what they drug, but they ran around Coleman Coliseum.
I don't think that's that bad.
That's not that bad.
We're talking
crap,
like
it ain't.
This guy said that Golden Domer told us that they put basketballs in trash bags now and make kids dribble them.
Well, maybe that's trying to get you better. You know, we did 2-ball drills where we lined up 4 guys and we had 2 balls. I had a ball and you got a ball, and they're gonna throw it back and forth to make them catch the ball. So that you'll catch the basketball. That'd be a darn good drill for football players to do that.
What about shooting with a weighted ball?
No, I don't like that particular. It's okay. I'm not crazy about it. I think you need to shoot the way you shoot it and go on with it. But that you're not impressed at all with running around the Coleman Coliseum. You need to be. You let you 2 booger bears run around there. You'd be dead.
We had to do sled
run
pulls
around
when I was playing.
Coleman. It's not that
y'all
big.
Y'all didn't do jack crap. Y'all pulled y'all foot. Y'all wasn't doing anything.
We used to run stadiums. Right. The least of my concerns is running around the basketball.
Did you ever make your kid?
Now listen to me. I got a place there at Coleman Coliseum. To the top of the Coleman Coliseum is a long way. If you missed a dunk, if you fancied up a dunk, and I don't mind you dunking it, but if you got cute around the goal and missed it, your little fanny was to the top of Coleman Coliseum and back twice.
How did you designate cute though? What if it was contested?
You go in there. You know what cute is. You go in there and dunk it. But don't be.
I'm saying, like, what if Roy Rogers was trying to block it and you missed it?
Well, that may be a little bit different. But if you go in there and try, let me tell you something. You have one friend in basketball. It's your backboard. Now, it's okay for him to dunk it so he can show your girlfriend how good you, as long as you make it. But if you go around and show your fanny and try to be cute in the game, let me say something to you. Your little hiney is right over there beside me, because the biggest thing in basketball for me was the bench. and that's where we put you. I don't give a crap if you was Robert Horry, Trail Sprewell. It didn't make any difference who you were. They if any of them listen, they know. I didn't go by no names.
Did you make your kids shoot blindfold ever?
No.
I feel like that'd be good. If you can shoot blindfold, you can shoot with your eyes open. I mean, feels like a good drill.
I guess it's okay. All right, it's okay.
What is the dumbest drill that everybody does? Like still universally used, but it has absolutely no value. But it's just because we've always done it, we keep doing it.
Well, a lot of people will roll the ball on the floor and let you dive after it, so you get after the ball.
That's a pretty good drill, right? Like it makes the guys do things that are uncomfortable. I suppose.
If you don't go after the basketball and you're playing hard, you ain't gonna play for me anyway. If you're gonna play hard, fine. If you're not gonna play hard, your butt's 88 and out the gate. I ain't playing you. All right, now listen to me. I've already told you about what has to happen at Alabama, Missouri. Now Georgia and Auburn. Auburn's not good offensively. They've had a meeting after I can tell you for sure. I know a lot about more than you think I know. They've had a meeting about the offense, getting the offense straightened out. Auburn's going to have to change some things because whatever they have done, Georgia will be darn good against it. So they got to do something different. They needed to have practiced something up until this game that they haven't shown at all in order to show it against Georgia, because Georgia's darn good defensively. Whether you like them or don't like them, they are. And Kirby does a darn good job. So you got to either have something brand new or something that you and if you have something brand new, it's something that you practiced for a long time and know how to do it, or you'll fall on your face. So that's going to be a real key. Auburn's got to score. Georgia's not as great offensively as they have been. If Georgia kicks a field goal against Alabama, it's going to be a closer game going into an overtime. They decide not to because they've been winning close games. Now listen to me. Arkansas and Tennessee. When you have a new guy coming in defensively, you guys buddy and correct me. When you have a new guy coming in defensively who has to be darn sure that he can defend Tennessee's pass. And Tennessee's going to run it. I understand just as much as they pass it, but we talk about the passing game. I don't think he can get them ready to play in a week. I don't think he can. I think Tennessee's 11.5-point favorite. I think it's going to be an interesting game. So you're going to bring and whether you like Bobby or not, the offensive coordinator. Bobby Petrino was probably, if not the best offensive play caller in the SEC. He's in the top 3. He's a very, very good play caller. Now, can he come in as the head? He called the plays because of the coach that lost his job was a defensive guy and so forth. But can they rally around that game right there? But can the defense that he's fired the defensive guys? He's probably smart to bring in new defensive guys. Can they come in a week and get these guys to defend Tennessee's passing game? I think that is I'm giving y'all good questions. Florida's going to Texas A&M. Yeah, sorry. Florida's going to Texas A&M. Texas A&M runs circles around Mississippi State, who plays pretty hard. Florida is better than you think they are. I hate to see the guy lose his job if he were to lose it, because they've had back-to-back seasons with the toughest schedule in the SEC among 16 teams. If you want to pick out some, they said he was off the hot seat when he did it last year. And I said, yes, he's off the hot seat, but they're fixing to pull the burner back out. They're going to burn his butt again because of the schedule they got. Florida can defend you. They play pretty hard. A&M can defend you well. That's going to be a very interesting game there. So I've already talked about Georgia and Auburn, South Carolina and LSU. It's 9 points. LSU not very good offensively, gotten better defensively. South Carolina won't enjoy playing at Baton Rouge. It won't be any fun to go down there and play. Quarterback wise, South Carolina's good. So anyway, I think that's the biggest thing. They're gonna come after Alabama the way Oklahoma came after Auburn, and we know we got a blocking expert, Greg, on this program.
Yeah, we do.
So so I don't know if he wants to say anything I said or not. He wants to talk about it or not. I know I've talked too much. I got it.
You've made great points, but I'd rather talk about dumb basketball drills that you've done. But either way,
Well, I don't know.
just
I mean,
me, though.
You wanted how to get them ready to play and how to, and one of my Rocky Coburn was my guy, and we'd make them run around Coleman Coliseum on the outside, and that was one of the things that we did. I don't know. We did a lot of 2-ball drills where they would catch the basketball and give it back with 2 basketballs. We played. I don't know. We just played. We worked really hard defensively. We darn sure that we tried to get our guys to get after people hard. And whether that's not a drill, but that's what we tried to do. We got our guys to understand that a foul was a defensive mistake. That's a defensive mistake, and you got to quit playing with that. You got to quit playing with your hands and play with your feet. So that's not any good to you two guys. Y'all want some kind of cotton picking drill where they jump over the moon. But we practice our guys hard. I wanted practice to be so difficult that the games were easy. And what else we did that was good for our teams was because we were so good in the SEC tournament. And I'm not here to be bragging. All I'm doing is trying to answer the question. We got off of them when it came time for the SEC tournament to start 2 weeks before that. We went 30 minutes a day. And you know what we told them? I said, you go 30 minutes as hard as you can go. We're going home. And they would come in there because they all had something to do. We'd go in there and we'd bust their fanny for 30 minutes. Everybody else, had 10-team league, all the rest of 9 teams, they'd practice 3 hours because now you're getting ready for the SEC tournament. I went the other way. I practice less rather than more. But I made them be darn sure that when they got ready for that, they were live-legged. Well, in basketball, you got to be live-legged to play, and you have to be so in football. This quarterback, switching back over, this quarterback Alabama's got can play, brother. He'll put that ball in the hands of, he's thrown 1 interception. He's darn good. I think the quarterback at Auburn is better. He's not played great, but I thought he did a great job running the football against Baylor. They just got, and I don't know. You two are not going to get on here and criticize coaches, and I don't know enough about the football scheme of things to really be very good at saying what I think. But they just got to get better offensively. They in my opinion, Auburn has to establish and keep the running game and play. They got very good defensive coordinator. He's very good. They do a good job defensively. They got to keep the football on offense by running the football and keeping it. They can't score if the other team don't have it, and then they got to guard somebody when the other team's got it.
There you go.
I know y'all enjoy having me on today.
We love it. Always great. Thank you very much. We know each and every week you're brought to us by our friends at Coke and Piggly Wiggly.
Coke and Piggly Wiggly are absolutely the very best. You go through into Piggly Wiggly, 9 locations in the Birmingham area, and go in there and come out, and you'll be happy. You'll be satisfied. They've got everything in the world from meats, vegetables, and all the knickknacks you want. Stanley and Andy have been friends of mine for 100 years, and there's nothing better than Piggly Wiggly. Coke is just as good, too. So Coke is a great product and a great drink. And I appreciate you guys listening to me because y'all are really good.
We appreciate you, Coach. Thank you very much.
All right. Talk to you later.
See you, Coach.
There you go. That's the Coach. Swim Sanderson joins us each and every week. Other SEC coaches to hear from. We'll do that next right here on Jocks. Welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Diving back into a little bit more football. Coach brought up a game that we haven't really even this week that could be intriguing. Could be one that, for different reasons, maybe a little bit closer, maybe goes a little bit different than a lot of. At 3:15 on the SEC Network, Greg, Arkansas is at Tennessee. Now, we obviously have a new head coach for the Razorbacks. Haven't seen Tennessee in a while. Does that make all that more intriguing to you, or make you feel like this game could be more competitive than people believe? It is a Tennessee is a 12.5-point favorite in that game.
I obviously like Tennessee much better than I like Arkansas. I think Arkansas's defense will struggle some. I'm really curious to see what things look like from Arkansas's vantage point on that side of the ball. Are they different structurally? Who's calling the plays? Who's doing what? Who's organizing things on that side of the ball? I don't know. I think Arkansas will score. I think they'll be exciting. But I have a hard time envisioning a scenario in which Arkansas can actually pull the outright upset. Can they make it interesting if it becomes a track meet? Sure. But what I last saw from Arkansas was a problem. Real problem.
Yep.
And I don't know how you come back from that.
I'd be with you there. And the fact that you have revamped the coaching staff on the defensive side of the football makes me a little bit concerned of what they're realistically going to be capable of. This is Bobby C.
Yeah, it's something that obviously they've been very good at for a long time. They're good at executing, good at moving fast. It's important for us to make sure we have great communication. We get in the right stances and get our eyes where they belong. Something we've been working on the last 2 weeks, and obviously it presents a challenge, but been doing a good job of it practice.
That's Bobby Petrino on the amount of plays that Tennessee runs per minute, which is number one in the nation. Josh Heupel on the Arkansas defense that he expects to see this weekend.
Man, it can change a bunch. Last year, thing that they had shown presents itself in that game, and but certainly they have the opportunity to a lot different than they've been, and for us, able to adjust, target guys the right way in our run game, in our protections, and then understand reading things and being in the right spot too.
So that's Josh Heupel on what he thinks he may get from the Razorbacks defensively, and it's a good point, Greg. Like, the structure could change, personnel could be lined up in different places. You have to adjust to that in game. That can complicate things, but there are some people talking about this one being competitive, being a little bit closer. I'm just finding trouble understanding how Arkansas is going to be able to get a lot of stops against this Tennessee offense.
Well, put it this way. I think the Arkansas team last year was less explosive and won the game. I thought Arkansas's team last year was about the same on defense, and they gave him some fits. So I think this Tennessee version might be a little bit better offensively. I like what they have offensively. I don't think they're quite as good running the football as they were last year, but I do think their quarterback's more capable of doing some different things. So I like Tennessee this year a lot. I just don't see a scenario that Arkansas can go on the road and rally the troops. But coming off a bye week is always very interesting. Coming off a bye week with the new coach, even more interesting. Look what just happened with UCLA last week. I mean, it's different. Nobody in a million years would have thought UCLA is going to keep that one close, and they got it. Granted, it was at home, and granted, Penn State was traveling 3 time zones and all these other challenges, but you can reinvent yourself in a week. And that's the only thing that would have me hesitant being all in towards a Tennessee blowout. I don't know if I can go that far right now.
We're probably not going to spend a lot of time talking Ole Miss and Washington State. However, Lane Kiffin said yesterday that he's still evaluating Austin Simmons' situation. Chris Lowe reporting yesterday, Greg, that he expects Trinidad Chambliss to start at quarterback against the Cougars. That's probably not a huge surprise just because of how good he's been. I think the question to ask here moving forward is, barring Trinidad Chambliss playing a long stretch of bad football, does this change hands again?
No.
For the rest of the season?
I don't think so. But I think it's a delicate balance for Lane Kiffin to kind of walk. Partly because I think Austin Simmons is a very talented young man, really talented, and is absolutely the face of the future of the program. But
the
present is not it's not in their best interest in the present to go with a guy that had some turnover issues earlier in the year, and his dad's a problem potentially. So that, I think, in order for Lane Kiffin to kind of navigate what is a little bit tumultuous, it's a tough spot to be in. I don't envy Lane Kiffin, but I think he's making the right decision. Like, you can't worry about next year. You got to go with the guy that gives you the best chance today. And I think Trinidad Chambliss is that guy.
100%. And you brought it up just a little bit there. That is a complicated situation behind the scenes for Lane Kiffin. And I think there are parts of Lane that, quite frankly, doesn't care. But I think also Lane's smart enough to know that Austin Simmons is a guy who could help him win a lot of games down the road. And that might not be any more this year. But also could be a guy that if it is Trinidad Chambliss and he, gets dinged up in a series and Austin Simmons has to come in like he did against Georgia last year, it's a really good option to have.
No question.
To have to lean on and potentially be able to get you through a little bit of a jam there. We won't spend a ton of time previewing that game. We think Ole Miss will be comfortable in that one, but Austin Simmons looks like he is going to be the guy. And most likely, based on the way that Chambliss has played, should be the guy.
Should
moving
be
forward. I mean,
I don't think
he's earned it.
Is it up for debate?
No, but it's going to continue to be reported on because right now, Greg, they can lean on the injury.
Right.
And they can lean on Austin Simmons is battling back. He's trying to get 100%. Once that's clarified that that's no longer an issue, and that may never come from Ole Miss. That could come from somebody else.
Right.
But once that does happen, then I think it does become an issue. For some of the reasons that you just brought up is, okay, well, if you have to protect your roster and you're trying to keep a guy around, what are those conversations going to look like? These are the difficulties of today's college football and
no
how
doubt.
things operate. It's not as simple as it once was. Kid gloves for a lot of these things because people get their feelings hurt, and then people want to go do other things.
And one more challenging aspect of this, correct? And I need to look it up to be 100% confirmed. Let me do that just for a half second, just so I can give you with 100% certainty exactly what the circumstances are. So far this year, Austin Simmons has played in 3 games. And what does that mean? It means that he can play in one more and still preserve a red shirt. So be mindful of that situation as well. Another layer on top of what is already a very complicated situation.
Very much so. All right, I want to get back into Auburn, Georgia, Alabama, Missouri. We will do that on the other side. Before we do that, Greg, tell our listeners about Bromberg's.
Well, Bromberg's did a great job with their most recent event, and they have another event coming up for you right now. It's Jalisco Week at Bromberg's, and it's happening October 13th through 18th. It's a perfect time to get your home ready for the fall and holiday hosting. You can shop beautiful new Jalisco pizzas and classic favorites while enjoying fantastic savings for 1 week only. Brides, it's a great time to use your registry credit. And fellas, if you're registered at Bromberg's, picking up a Jalisco piece she picked out is a foolproof gift all and holiday designs. Jalisco brings beauty and joy. Jalisco brings beauty and joy to every gathering. With the elegant dinnerware, linens, glassware, all this wonderful stuff. Your collection at Bromberg's. Stop by and add some joy to your home with Jalisco.
All right, when we get back, we'll dive in a little further to Auburn, Georgia. You'll hear from Kirby Smart, hear from Hugh Freeze next here on Jocks. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Glad you're with us. 800-239-9569. If you want to get in, tweet in at Mac. You can listen that way. Before we get into a little bit more on Auburn and Georgia, going to hear from Hugh Freeze, going to hear from Kirby Smarts. Tell our listeners about Shinar Flooring.
Well, Fu and his guys have done a great job stockpiling inventory. For the last several months, they've been continuing to bring in a ton of that Core-Tech flooring by Shaw. They have over 50,000 square feet of it. And Fu is doing it again, man. Every single one of those planks is now up. You can apply a lot of savings, 20 to 40%. And nobody in town has the Core-Tech that Fu has. It's a deal that you can't touch. And every plank, remember, this durable, dependable flooring, 20 move. So remember Shinar Flooring. When you want Core-Tech, call who? Call Fu. Call them today at Shinar Flooring, 205-518-6423, or go online at fuandyou.com.
All right, Hugh Freeze discussing the Georgia defense that he is going to see this weekend.
I mean, fundamentally, Kirby's defenses and Schumann, they're always going to be fundamentally extremely well, and probably would say that they're two of the best guys at adjusting to things that are hurting them. And while their numbers may not be exactly, they've played some good teams, of course, like Tennessee and others, but the and Alabama that are really good offenses, yet they made adjustments and found ways to win games by making plays defensively. And so I think their linebackers are outstanding. Honestly, I think that's some of their best pass rushers. And their safeties are really talented, and their front is big and strong and plays fundamentally really well their gaps. So I still see a really stingy defense, even though you say the numbers, aren't. I think obviously there's more parity in our conference, but they still are such well coached and make great adjustments to give their kids chances to win football games.
That's Hugh Freeze discussing the Georgia defense he'll see this weekend, but the Georgia run game, something that has been a little inconsistent. Coach Freeze and his thoughts on what that may be.
Big, strong running backs. And then you add in the fact that 14, Stockton is, I don't know that people give him enough credit for how he uses his legs. I think he's smart. He uses them well to extend plays and can hurt you, not only extending a play with his legs, but his eyes are always down the field. And he's playing at a really high level along with their running backs, who I think are big and physical. And, they're very balanced. And I think the receiving core is probably deeper than it's been. They got Bell and Law and Young. They all are extremely good playmakers that you have to defend them as part of the way they use them in the screen game. Difficult offense to defend, but it does start like most Georgia teams with the run game.
That's Hugh Freeze on aspects of this Georgia football team that he'll be facing off against this weekend. A lot of us don't see ways this game will be competitive. Rubik's Cubelic has Auburn winning the game. So that's computer science, math, arithmetic. That's not our
I think Auburn's
scheme and X's and O's.
I think Auburn's going to play well, by the way. I'm just having a hard time. Like, don't get me wrong. I think Georgia's a good football team. I love Georgia. I always.
There are
Georgia.
aspects of Auburn that played well in their last two games we've seen them.
That's what I'm saying.
Collectively has not.
I'm with you. Like, I think Auburn's a good football team. I think they've struggled on third down. They've been bad on first down to kind of get them on schedule. But I think a week off, not that dissimilar to what we just talked about a moment ago with Arkansas. Like, you can reinvent yourself a little bit, kind of go back to the drawing board a bit from 1 week to the next. I mean, we haven't really seen them in a bit. So they might be a totally different outfit the next time they go out there. So that, I think, is a huge key. Is they got to play much better. They have to have a better plan on 1st and 10. They got to have a better plan on third down, and they got to avoid third and longs, because the last couple of weeks they've been living in third and long, and you just cannot sustain that recipe.
All right. What was the third down number you gave us on the last two games? They have faced third and
stand by.
and then I'll take you into a couple of other numbers here for Auburn. They have rushed the ball on first down 83 times for 436 yards. If you are like me, not good at math, that comes out to 5.25 per carry. They have rushed the ball on second down 58 times for 305 yards. That comes out to 5.26 yards per carry. So you ask yourself, 83 and 58 attempts on first and second down this year, both over 5 yards per carry. How are they in 3rd and 10, 3rd and 7 and longer as often as they are? I would imagine it's not failures running the football on first and second down. It's just not rushing the ball on first and second down. Your numbers?
Well, to put things in perspective, they have faced 21 3rd and 7 pluses the last couple weeks, which is absurd. The last couple weeks, last 2 games, just 3 for 28 on 3rd down overall. Their average line to gain on 3rd down in the last 2 games against Oklahoma and against Texas A&M, their average line to gain is 11.2 on 3rd down. That is by far the worst in college football, and it's not even close. It's by about 2 more yards per 3rd down. So part of it, there's a lot of issues here. There's a lot of issues at stake. It's not just a lack of success. And yes, they've been way too heavy in their drop back game on 1st and 10. In their 3 wins this year, look this number up as well. In their 3 wins this year, they're running the ball on 1st and 10 about 40% of the time. Pretty good, right?
Yeah.
That's on 1st and 10. On the last 2 games, they're running the ball just 15% of the time on 1st and 10. Not great.
No.
Right? On their losses, they're dropping back on 73% of their offensive snaps. In wins, they're dropping back just 47% of their offensive snaps. Pretty much significant, no?
Yeah, it is.
Then the other thing for Auburn, it's not just a lack of success offensively. A lot of it has to do with penalties. Like their level of penalties these last couple of weeks.
Most penalized team in the SEC. We said that earlier in the Rubik's Cubelic segment.
Confirm. But the most difficult thing is that a lot of those penalties in the last 2 games, they have 23 penalties, which is a ton. You want to know what's even more mind-blowing? They have 15 penalties on offense. That's 132nd.
In their last 3 games?
Last 2 games.
Yeah, they are 115th nationally in penalties right now. Penalty yards per game, which is 69. Not to say that I mean, Texas A&M, South Carolina, Mississippi State. There are a couple other SEC teams that are also horrible with penalties. Vanderbilt's not been a team that's been great with penalties this year, but as you just stated, when so many are coming on offense, specifically pre-snap, that doesn't even allow the chance to get the play to get a chance to go, that's going to put you in a bad spot. And then you get to some of those 3rd and longs. And when you only run the ball 34 times on 3rd down, and I would imagine, I mean, what would you guess as the percentage of those that have been Jackson Arnold leaving the pocket? Probably 10 of the 34 at least.
Yeah.
We don't have that number, but somewhere in there. So when you're handcuffed to the point that that portion of your playbook is essentially cut off on 3rd down, what do you expect defenses to do? You better be really good in operating the one specific aspect of your offense, which is going to entail, by the way, the snap, blocking, getting through progressions, throwing an accurate football and actually catching that football, and then getting past the long distance that you need for a first down. That's a lot of things that have to go well on a high-pressure down, and you're on the road. Now, you won't be this weekend, but have been.
And your quarterback's not a great thrower. So you can give me the 5 stars, all this other stuff. So, like, you have a guy that can thread the needle. All right. Well, we can live to play 1st and 15. We can overcome that. We'll get half of it back on 1st down, half of it back on 2nd down, make it 3rd and 3. No problem. But
see, here's one difficult one. This goes into what you're talking about with the penalties. Justin Pace tweets in, Auburn would have been better off on 3rd down the last 2 games if they would have spiked the ball on 1st and 2nd down. I don't necessarily agree with that. Because a lot of what Greg's talking about is, okay, 3rd and 6, not terrible. 3rd and 4, not terrible. But then you get a procedure penalty and it is terrible.
Correct.
So, or you gain yards and have a penalty that brings it back, and all of a sudden you're in a 3rd and 15 or a 3rd and 14. That is a terrible situation. So, partially I agree with what Justin's saying, but we just read out numbers where you're averaging over 5.5 yards per carry and 5.2 yards per carry on 1st and 2nd down running the football.
Yes.
Now, has that been consistent through every game? No.
No.
But the penalties are also working against us in a major way. And Kirby Smart discussed what he thinks makes Hugh Freeze in this offense dangerous that they're going to see from Auburn this weekend.
That's a mixture of talented players, running quarterback, the extra element, which they're going to do with their quarterback now. He's a really elite runner, and he's tough and physical. He's not just an escape artist. He is a 210, 220 pound thick guy that can get north and south on you. And they do it every time he has guys like that. He's really been successful, whether it's by tempo, it's by RPOs, vertical passing game with great wideouts, or quarterback's ability to be the extra element.
So that's a little bit of what Kirby Smart thinks about this Auburn offense that he is going to see this weekend. Speaking of things that you need to see, I can't give you one of those right now, but I can give you something that you're going to need to hear. When we come back,